Hey everybody, welcome to Two Over Comics. My name is Steve.
And I'm Mike.
And in a second, we're gonna have
The
Patrick!
big star himself, Patrick Moreau.
Mac, you caught us just in the middle of doing intros.
Yeah.
You're just in time.
Joseph Johnson.
So anyway, guys, it's Thursday. You know what that means. Time to review some funny books. This week, we're going to be covering a couple of titles right now. And let's just get right into it right now.
Yeah.
You saw the title of the video. You know what comics we're covering. Go look in the description. You'll see what comics we're covering right now. So no need to make introductions. Just dive right into the deep end of the pool. Cannonball. Who wants to go first?
How about you, Mike?
Me? All right. As my dog's going crazy upstairs. So I'm going to do a quick review because me and Steve did a separate episode for Amazing Spider-Man 50. 50 volume, whatever volume we're on now. But hey, Gucci, what are you doing up there? Come on.
She's excited. She's like, yeah, that's all well and good. You're giving a review. I want to get into the nitty gritty of Spider-Man number 50.
I should have closed the blinds because she's probably barking. She hears us through the vents. So now she's barking outside. So, but
we'll post that video tomorrow, or me and Mike put on our private dick hats, and we kind of get into the whole Kindred's meat sandwich that is the Kindred storyline. But for now, we're just gonna kind of go over a little brief review of the comic right now. Go for it, Mike.
So, like I said, Steve just said you'll have to. Ooh, there's a Patrick Moreau.
Oh, yeah.
If you'll get my full review on this book, so I'm not gonna give much away of this. In case you either watch this first or you watch this last. Either way, you'll get a review out of it. All I'm gonna say is that this book was great. It may have answered some of our questions of who we thought Kindred might be. Patrick Gleason is back finally on the book. Sometimes I forget that he's actually the artist because he's not on it very often.
He was on for a brief time during that supposed 29.9 storyline, which ended up being a big nothing.
and just like with
like Marvel.
Ryan Otley, as we know, we on our news episode like last week or this week, we mentioned Otley is on the book. He's another artist that I literally forgot that he was on the book because he didn't do that much.
Yep.
But he's back on the book. The artwork's great. A lot going on in this issue. I'm gonna say 2 thumbs up already. That got me hooked from the beginning because I was at this point, and me and Steve both mentioned before that we're sick of. We don't care who Kindred is before this episode. We're kind of sick of it. We're let's get this shit.
God damn! Did they stick that hook back in? I went for the bait again. And
50 issues of just waiting on knowing who it is and Kindred being in the background this whole time. Like I say, this book was great. It had me hooked from day one. Not day one, the first panel. A lot of great things happen in this. I don't want to give too much away because whether or not you've seen this episode first or you see it after. A lot of great things happen. So 2 thumbs up. I'm hooked. Yeah.
Well, in our separate video, we don't really go over the issue that much. We kind of go over our theories about Kindred. But in this book right here, I like how Spencer even makes mention during Kindred's dialogue, how he says, like, I know you guys have been waiting and it seems like forever, but I promise you it's been worth it. And there's a method to the madness right now. So it's a little meta. I kind of liked it. And honestly, the comic was paced beautifully, written beautifully, drawn beautifully. I mean, Patrick Gleason, Ryan Otley, I'm so sad. I'm sad to see you go. I love Ryan Otley. But it makes it sting a little less with Patrick Gleason coming back on because the art's beautiful. And I don't know if this was done by design or just like a coincidence. Very in keeping with Halloween too, because it has a very like horror movie type style, very like like dark and gothic with Kindred, and just like the way the whole thing plays out with the graveyard scenes and that kind of thing. Beautiful book, great book. I can't wait to read the next issue.
I don't know if Gleason's gonna be on the next book because Marvel released something saying that Gleason was gonna do the Spider-Man's bloodiest and most savage battle next. Well, but now it's back as good old Mark Bagley's doing, which I'm okay with that because I love Mark Bagley, the artwork. Yeah, so I don't know if this battle is going to take place next issue or the one after that. So we'll see how long Gleason's on for it. I know Bagley's on board, so I'm hooked. I can't wait for the next issue.
I have seen several promo issues of Gleason doing his cover art for books. So I think he at least 3 more issues. We got Gleason in a row right now. I think he's doing the storyline, and that he'll probably take a break. Bagley, and knowing Marvel, I think they'll probably need a third artist to jump in because the book is bi-weekly. And we mentioned before about Ryan Otley getting some shit about not being able to do the monthly book. 2 issues a month is a lot for any artist, right? Really. And if you want quality work, I remember Joe Quesada saying years and years ago, where it's like, can you make a monthly book? Yeah, but you're sacrificing quality. If you want to give the quality that people really want, you're looking at about 8 or 9 issues from an artist a year.
Well, at one point, this book was 3 times a month.
Yeah. So I mean,
seriously,
when, Ollie was first on, yeah.
And these guys aren't getting any. I mean, Ryan Otley, I mean, he's a young guy, but he's not getting any younger. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's only so much the guy can do. And he even said too, like my days of doing like monthly issues of Invincible plus like side projects is over with right now. You're looking at probably like about 10 issues for me a year, which is understandable. You got people got families, people got other things going on. So I mean, it is what it is. But I'm glad to see.
Why do work?
Yeah, I'm glad to see Gleason back though. This is probably the best artwork I've seen him since his Batman Robin run with Tomasi.
Really?
So, yeah, I do like the Superman stuff, but I think some of it was a little. There were good issues, but there were some misses. There were some kind of phoned in issues, I think, in the Superman run. But I think he's definitely had the time to kind of recharge his batteries and really kind of give this his all. And I'm looking forward to the next issue, which is something I haven't said about Amazing Spider-Man in a little while.
I know, me neither. And by default, Amazing Spider-Man is my 3rd favorite book. I mean, it has to be. I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan out of all of us here. But now I can really mean that now it really is back up to number 3. As my 3rd favorite book out there. So
go check it out, guys, and don't forget to check out our video. We're probably going to post tomorrow, giving our deducing skills on what the end game is for Kindred right now and what his motivation is. His motivation, we know now. Spoiler alert. So Patrick, you want to go next? You reviewed some books.
Sure. Well, I'm not going to do any Marvel with DC. I'm going to do something that Dynamite hasn't done before.
Dynamite over? We can't talk about Dynamite. Is that a Dynamite book?
Yes.
Oh, we can't do that, Patrick. They're canceled, Dynamite.
Really?
I'm only kidding. That's actually something that the writer of your next book is saying. No more talking about Dynamite books.
Well, fuck them.
Get into it, Patrick. What are we doing?
Okay. This is Dynamite doing their own team-up book. It basically stars Red Sonja and Vampirella. Yeah, they're the main ones. They're the biggest selling characters that they have in their company. There's also Thunderbolt.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's other ones. I was surprised. I read Green Hornet was supposed to be on the team, but he's nowhere to be found.
I completely forgot that company existed. Yeah. Up until you showed me that book.
So did I, but this is actually pretty good. John Carter, Warlord from Mars, is on here.
Oh, I want to stop you right there real quick. No. Me and Patrick saw John Carter, Agent of Mars, or whatever that movie was called.
Warlord. Well, they just called it John Carter. Why did they call it Warlord from Mars? I have no idea.
And I recall we saw that together, and we actually really enjoyed that movie. It was a really great movie. It's a shame it didn't go anywhere after that from Disney, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast that we can actually talk about. It's a really crazy story,
Well, we'll stick to the issue this time, but I wanted to go off on my own tangent real quick. But continue if you're.
No, it's cool. But anyway, I was surprised. You got Red Sonja, Vampirella. Do you remember Charlton comic books where they had Thunderbolt? No, probably not. You have to be one of those people that loved Charlton comic books to know anything about it.
I think that's way
Anyway.
before our time.
Aboard after
I know.
1980.
Exactly, it was. It's one of those, and your reason that we would know about it because the company was from Connecticut, so we would see those issues. If you're from the West Coast, you're SOL. Yeah. Anyway, basically, the show is not the show. The comic book is about a team up, and what happens, a bunch of ghouls set in, from Earth to Mars. I thought it was a lot of fun.
It sounds,
mean-
the premise kind of sounds a little bit like Legends of Tomorrow, kind of where they kind of cherry pick the cool franchise characters and put them on a team together, which is something
Yeah.
I've always loved, that kind of thing too.
I liked it because it was like, if you told me like a few months ago, I'd be like, really? What the hell have these guys got in common? But it was a fun book.
To be fair, Patrick, when you said Red Sonja and Vampirella, I was not surprised that you read this book.
Oh, why not? Oh, come on.
I had to throw that in
Hey.
there.
Hey, Gucci,
No.
if you want to do your review, come on down. Don't say it up there.
No, but it's
She just-
no, but it was a fun book. Basically, the mystery is, what the hell are all these alien creatures or these ghouly things? It was just a lot of fun. It's a setup, but you know what? I give it a 5 based on the pretty good art. I never heard this guy. So I don't butcher his name. Vizzano Karatu and Justin Mason. Never heard of these guys, but the art's pretty good.
I think I do like those. It sounds like a little bit like Legends of Tomorrow or Legion of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I'm not above gimmicks. I like gimmicks. Fine, you know what I mean. As long as it's fun, that's cool with me.
Yeah, it's fun. Be honest with you, I think it could be a fun. I think it could be a good book.
Who writes it?
Huh?
Who writes it?
Oh, Fred Van Lente.
Oh, okay. He does a lot of he did some Spider-Man during Brand New Day.
Yeah, that sounded familiar.
He also does a lot of Archie stuff, I think, too. Or am I thinking of the right guy?
Yeah. Also,
Oh, there is no more Archie.
Do you remember when they tried to do the Stan Lee universe back in the day?
Oh yeah.
I think we wrote some of that.
I know he does Jughead Undead, I think, or the zombie Jughead, or he turns to a werewolf, something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and some of the themes are very similar.
Yeah. Okay.
You got zombies or whatever they're called. It seems that way. Some other writer I'd never heard of, the Clan Salveli, Shalvey, whoever you are.
Sounds like an intern who getting his first shot writing a comic.
Oh yeah. Basically, that's what it is, but it's not bad. Now, how they all coexist or how they all meet up, we'll find out next issue. But it was a lot of fun.
It's comics. They exist together because they do.
Exactly.
That's all you need from me. You know what I mean?
But here's the funny thing: it's the first time these characters had a team up, like a real team for Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was surprised. Honestly, I thought when I heard Edgar Rice Burroughs, I think it'd be Tarzan. But no, John Connor, why not?
Well, it doesn't surprise me if they would do a gimmick for like this for now, because like I said, Dynamite, the publisher, has been kind of under fire a lot lately in social media for some of the things some of their employees have been doing. But I mean, right now, like a lot of companies, it's a lot of do or die type situation when it comes to like proving their worth as a comic book publisher. I know IDW is the same situation. Boom's really been kind of taking some chances, and Dynamite's no different.
What? And I've been accused of doing DC only and once in a while Marvel, but this was a pretty good book. And honestly, I don't know if you mentioned, but another big book DC came out with this week, Tom King doing Rorschach #1.
He's one of the big mouthpieces as far as canceling Dynamite. So you know, why don't you get right into Rorschach while you're on a roll right now? I'm going to tell you right now, I did read Rorschach for #1.
Really? I'm glad
though
you got through it.
Even though I'm not a big I do like Watchmen, the original graphic novel. I'm not a huge fan of revisiting that. And I'll tell you something right now, although I don't advocate this to anybody right now, and I don't normally say this, I pirated this comic book because I will not support anything Tom King writes, because I think
I didn't buy it. You know why? You know why? I tried at the store. I read the first 2 pages. My eyes were rolled. I'm like, what the F is going on? It's so boring.
I'm going to stop you guys right there. I love anything Tom King writes.
Fuck Tom King. Yeah. Fuck Tom King.
I really like grinding that gear for the people that really bash Tom King.
Oh, he's
I'm like, well, Tom King's the greatest writer ever.
Here's the thing. I like Mr. Miracle only because it's fun, but he's definitely a one-trick pony where everything he does is like, I'm sad and I don't know why. I met Tom King in person at was it Terrificon? We saw him at garbage human being, wants to be part of the cool kids, and I'll never forgive him for what he did to Jay Lee on social media at all.
Now, if he never did anything to Jay Lee, I would still hate this book. Dude, it's fucking 3 pages in the book. I'm like, what is going on? Why should I give a shit? Why is nothing happening until page 20? When Rorschach had the gun in his hand. I'm like, I don't care at this point. Oh, by the way, that's supposed to be the original Rorschach. Taking place in 2020. I'm like, who cares?
Just like the rest of us on the podcast, it's time to let the Walking Dead, and that's time to let it go too. Watchmen die. I'm gonna grumble here and say it. I don't care how much thumbs downs we get, how many dislikes we get. I don't care about the Watchmen. I think it's overrated. I wasn't even remotely blown away by it. I enjoyed the movie better than the book.
Well, so, yes.
I mean, I don't know.
I know the fans will, like, how dare you say that? No, I hate to say it. Watchmen was incredible, but dude, it only works if it exists in the 80s.
Yeah.
Even Alan Moore, the guy who wrote Watchmen, said, "I wish I never wrote that book."
I think even Dave Gibbons would even say that.
In a recent interview with Alan Moore, he said, "I wish I never wrote the books Watchmen or The Killing Joke." He goes, "I think those books destroyed what I love about the comic book industry and set it on a path."
But here's a little problem with Alan Moore. He's paid. He got paid. He got all his money. So he can say that while fear of missing a paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, missing a meal.
While I do enjoy Watchmen, I do agree with him as far as it being a DC book, a mainstream comic book. I agree with the effects that it had. Tom King is obviously trying to emulate Alan Moore among other artists.
The guy, he could carry Alan Moore's shoes in his best day.
No. But that's another topic for another time. I would love to devote hours and hours to shitting on Tom King, but we're not going to.
I could do an episode just shitting on the Watchmen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Dynamite team-up book was such a breath of fresh air. It was fun. It was exciting. The art was drawn, was well done. It was just, that's what a comic book should be, fun.
That's the one thing I did enjoy the art in Rorschach. I thought the art was pretty good, but that's about it.
Yeah, but I gotta say, the art, considering that Tom King gave him nothing but word balloons, nothing happens for 20 effing pages. And by the way, can I ask you about the Black Label imprint? Yeah, wasn't that supposed to be a graphic novel?
Yeah, this supposed to be prestige format and that kind of thing. And
why is this a $5 comic book?
Because it's Black Label. I don't see.
Yeah, but it's not oversized. It's not thick. Like nothing happened. Really, for
It
20
doesn't
something
matter.
pages.
Black Label is going to turn into a nothing burger anyway in 2021. They're going to finish
Oh,
all the
yeah.
projects they have right now. Although I will say right now, a lot of the DC projects that came from Black Label have been my favorite DC projects for the past year, as far as White Knight, Wonder Woman, Dead Earth, and there's been a couple others with that. Oh, Superman Year One.
There's three Jokers.
And three Jokers.
Is the only
But
thing I like.
as soon as those are out, then that's the you see that fall. The people who started Black Label, the editors don't even work for DC anymore.
They all got fired.
Yeah. So I mean, what I recommend for Rorschach, it's a failed attempt at a noir tale with characters that DC has far dried its heat from. I would recommend you pick up the book, take a look at it, put it right back on the shelf. Do not send the message to DC that you support anything Tom King does.
It's a piece of useless garbage.
I recommend it for toilet paper. If you run out of toilet paper during the next coronavirus surge, when people keep buying that
probably
shit.
give you cancer. Yeah.
Go buy the J
for that.
Go buy the Jay Lee cover, the alternate cover, and that's the only, and then
rip out all the interiors and then use that for toilet paper.
Yeah.
God.
But I had curiosity, I did read it. I'd also read Tom King's other book this week, which I'm not going to mention because I don't want to give him the free publicity. As far as I read
man, talk about a creator being propped up.
Yeah, he has his
really,
Eisners, but like and it's like all he does is write the same story for a different character.
Yeah. He's basically the last vestige of a Dan Didio, love child. That's what he is.
The one thing I will say, I did read Strange Tales #6, and I talked about my son. The character assassination on Mr. Terrific infuriated me so much, where I was like red in the face, losing my mind with my son talking about it. I was so upset with what Tom King and his warped, depressed cuck mind did Mr. Terrific. The fact that DC is employing this obvious racist who's like pawning himself off as this SJW, marginalizing minorities in his comics.
Shocking.
I cannot support Tom King. If you want to read Rorschach, if you're a fan of Watchmen, go online. You'll find it at any site, or just read, put it back on the shelf. Don't pay for it.
Here's the thing that bothers me. This character in Watchmen should have been easy money.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks.
I feel like true Watchmen fans don't really want to like. I feel like anyone that's in the Watchmen now are the bandwagon fans.
True Watchmen
that
fans
are jumping on like at the Watchmen or that before Watchmen crap that came out years ago from DC.
Oh, it's before Watchmen. That was a load of shit.
True Watchmen fans like the original graphic novel, and they said thank you. Moving on,
and that's it.
But now you have this new generation that read the original Watchmen, and now they're like, "Oh, I love the new Watchmen. I'm so hip or down with it. I don't know the lingo.
Are these people?
I'm not down with the lingo, but
who
again, I just think the Watchmen is 100% overrated. I don't care who I piss off saying it. It's the absolute truth.
There's a generation of comic fans I don't understand. I don't want to get into a whole episode of just like getting all fired up over it. I mean, like as far as the comic goes right now, it's a mediocre noir detective tale that doesn't stick the landing.
It's not even mediocre.
Yeah,
so it's a piece of garbage. What?
Going back, Patrick, we're going back to our comic couch vibes right now.
The art's good, the interiors are good, the cover artists are great, but the writing is subpar and is not worth your money.
Thank you. That's all that. Buy Dynamite issue 1. Why? Not only to piss Tom King off, but it's a good book. You will have fun with this issue, and guess what? You'll save money because it's cheaper.
Speaking of fun, we're going to transition away from Rorschach and get into the comic. Yeah. I read a bunch of comics, but I'm only going to review one. And since Patrick's already fired up, why not soak the fire? Superman #26, written by Brian Michael Bendis listen to me right now. I know everybody's feelings on Brian Bendis, and you know what? I think Brian Bendis knows the feeling about Brian Bendis because he's made drastic steps. I think he's listened and kind of course corrected how he writes comics.
Really?
You've seen what he's done with
a day late, $1 short.
And that's the thing too. I read it right now, and I'm like, God damn, why couldn't you have been doing this the entire time? Because now, and I don't know if I'm enjoying this book because I know like the end is near, but like, you know, goddamn, am I enjoying this storyline by Brian Bendis.
Watchmen reference.
It's very like, I mean, everything is on point in this. He takes like, you know, aspects of like Golden Age Superman and Silver Age Superman and really like implements it. Like he has things like what's his name, Kelex, the robot from the Fortress of Solitude. Kind of like he has like these like things where like Lois and Clark are in bed together, something like that. And also in that scene, well, also in this scene right now, they're not like fighting. They're not on the brink of divorce. They're not like dysfunctional.
Really?
They're telling each other how much they love each other. And Clark is very like, on point and like, and he tells him why he's with Lois and how she makes him feel. And like from the very first moment he met her, it's very on point. It's a functional, loving relationship. It's great.
You sure P.J. Tomasi didn't write this?
Oh my
God, Jurgens?
It's crazy. And Kelex, like, you know, comes in and kind of says, like, you know, he lets them know there's this threat coming in, which is the character Esno Alcar that we discussed in the last issue. And so I was unaware. Like I said, I've been reading Superman for a while. I was unaware that they moved the Fortress of Solitude to the Bermuda Triangle, which I think is awesome.
Oh yeah, that makes all the sense in the world.
Superman can't feel warmth or cold, but he still wants a nice view.
Listen, Silver Age Superman's my boy. I mean, I know that he's problematic as far as like the way he treated some people, and he was. I know there's whole websites dedicated to like, you know, Superman being an asshole in the Silver Age. But as far as the storylines go, and just like the you know what, a new concept every month, every issue. I fucking love it. I love Silver Age Superman. I love Silver Age DC. Like, you know, sue me.
I don't have a problem with Silver Age Superman. I just have a problem with Brian Michael Bendis.
Listen, you're preaching to the choir. But I think the thing is, I think with Brian Michael Bendis, when he came to DC, he kind of thought like, you know, I'm starting with a new company. I can just do what I did at Marvel, and people will eat that up, and I'll be an immediate success. Yeah. But I think he realized that people were like, no, the reason why we weren't buying your books at Marvel is because you're doing what you're doing right now, and that's not going to fly here at DC. And so
we used to eat up your stories back on, you know, New Avengers, Ultimate Spider-Man, Daredevil days, but not anymore.
But and I think he realized that, okay, obviously I can't be doing this right now. And I think you've seen in the latest issues of Young Justice and the Superman issues where he's kind of like, okay, I obviously need to kind of this isn't Marvel. I have to kind of reinvent myself a little bit here at DC. And he's paying attention. He's paying attention to continuity. Yeah. There's jokes in here from like the Golden Age Superman where Steve Lombard, obviously we know that Superman outed his identity in recent issues, and so he's talking to Jimmy and Steve's talking to Jimmy Olsen, and he goes, "Hey, remember that time I used to tell you I used to find all these ties in the supply room all the time, and you guys all thought I was crazy?" And that's like a reference to the Gold Age Superman, where Superman used to keep like, you know, clothes in the supply closet so we could change to Superman to Clark Kent, stuff like that. It's a really well written issue. There's also a reference where Superman, where they start the issue basically where I can never think of the guy's name. Eisner is fighting Superman, but he's not saying anything. So Superman's like, you know, listen, I'm opening myself up to you as far as like psychic communications like that. Something that was a Golden Age thing of Superman also, where they had like not mind powers, but kind of like, you know, he got to communicate with people through their mind and make suggestions with his like thoughts and stuff like that in the Golden Age. And this, like, you know, not only does he say like, you know, oh, like, you know, just talk to me, tell me what the problem is, and he's like going through all these different languages. He goes, you speak English, Kryptonian, and he's doing all these different languages, and Asno is not responding to him at all. And obviously, you know, from the last issue that Asno blames Superman for the destruction of his planet. This character is basically his species, like he was designed and like, you know, to be his species Superman. So it's kind of like he's fighting an alien version of himself and stuff like that. But the art's great and the coloring is great. The beats with the supporting characters, like I mentioned, Steve Lombard, Jimmy Olsen, like, you know, who's hanging out at the Fortress of Solitude. He's like, you know, calls him Superman. And he's like, you can call me Clark, Jimmy. And he's like, no, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm not going to get used to that. And he's like, well, how about Kal-El? And Jimmy Olsen's like, how about the Superman? You know? And so like they have funny parts where like, you know, Jimmy Olsen's like sleeping and he wakes up from a nightmare and he just goes like, you know, oh, werewolf me. And like he's just like making like, you know, like references to like Silver Age storylines where Jimmy Olsen returns to these characters. And I wish Bendis was writing this the way the entire time, and maybe just like a story that it may be a coincidence that he's like, you know, this story just hitting for me. or maybe it's like the fact that he's kind of like, like reevaluated his writing, kind of trying to be a better writer at DC because he knows, like,
Really?
Well,
I
it
mean,
shows that with this
I
issue.
just don't trust the bastard.
Well,
it might
it
be just
shows with this
storyline.
issue that he can do it right.
Yeah.
And it shows that with not Teen Titans. I wish Teen Titans was back, the one that I grew up on, Jeff Johns. That Young Justice, that he can do it right. I still think that his best book in DC was his best ongoing was Young Justice until he did the whole Tim Drake as Drake, which
Drake, yeah.
blew me into
Drake
a fucking
kick,
blind
yeah.
rage. But and I love these characters so much. And I know I kept saying, "Well, I'm canceled. I'm not gonna read it anymore." But I kept reading it. I kept buying it. So,
You're the reason.
But yeah, I think if he was doing that from the beginning, he wouldn't be getting that much hate. I really felt somewhat going back to the old school Bendis that I loved when he was doing Young Justice.
It's funny, he kind of makes fun of himself too, like in this issue where he mentions all the storylines that have come out since he took over Superman, and he actually Leviathan, I think it's called, where he actually says it's like, no, he goes, and that Leviathan nonsense, and so yeah, that was pretty dumb, and so they kind of like even make fun of some of the things he tried, where he thought he could coast on his name alone, like just being Bendis, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
what kind of world do you live in? I'm just curious.
I mean, Pat, I would give it a try, Patrick. I mean, I know you hate Bendis. I mean, I'm on the same boat. I was kind of sick of Bendis, around the time he took over X-Men.
Dude, I tried, dude. I mean,
you tried Young Justice?
I skimmed through it because of you, Mike.
I mean, I'm not saying that it was prime Bendis, but there was that hint of Bendis that I enjoyed. And that surprisingly, he really respected the continuity, and that he was bringing back the pre-52 continuity of these characters that I love so much.
Yeah.
Again, it was a lot of his, big ass war balloons of dialogue and whatnot and talking heads. There was literally one issue where they just stood around. The cowboy girl's fucking car the whole time.
Jenny Hex.
Yeah.
I don't hate Bendis. He's not a Tom King situation where I think he's a garbage human being. I think Bendis is generally a nice guy and definitely wants to make fun comics, but I think he sometimes he just thinks he doesn't have to try.
Yeah.
I just remember a couple issues where he just goes to his psychologist or something. I'm trying to remember what issue that was.
I think it was Action Comics, I think.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Well, the worst part about Action Comics was John Romita's artwork on that run where I tried reading the House of Kent or whatever that story.
Which pains me to say because I love John Romita Jr., but maybe it shouldn't be on Superman. John Romita.
Isn't he done as an artist?
No, I don't think so at all. I think he has a lot of great work he can still do. I think Superman's not his character. I think he's better with street level characters, and he needs.
Okay. You say that. But I took your advice. I reread Detective, 1027, and some of the stories were pretty good. Actually, the Bendis story was good.
Yeah.
But God, trying to look at Romita Jr.'s art on when he did the Batman story. Oh, crap.
I would love Romita on Batman. Oh my God.
No, not that.
Not to go down a big giant rabbit hole like what we like to do on here, but it takes a while for him to get the character right.
But you know what, dude? He's been doing this since I was young, since you were probably in diapers, Mike.
Probably, yeah.
You, Steve. And honestly, at a certain point, maybe he just doesn't do his homework. Maybe
it all depends on the paycheck because he was mailing in the Avengers stuff.
Oh yeah,
Avengers when he was also doing Kick-Ass.
I think he's at like a Walt Simonson type level right now, where it's he's still putting out good work, but he just needs. I mean, Walt Simonson, you look at it, he can still put out the good work, but he also needs the right colorist. He also needs a decent inker and stuff like that. I think the same deal with John Romita Jr. I think
John Romita definitely can't do two books a month. I can tell you that much right now.
No, he's not what he used to be.
No.
But thing is, Walter Simonson. He was doing Ragnarok for, I think, IDW.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I see it. It's good. It's
excellent.
all right.
It's good.
It's all
He
right.
can still write.
It's all
He
right.
can still, but the thing is, he's not trying to do Marvel Thor. He can't. Probably get the shit suit off him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's a very readable book series.
Not everybody can be Arthur Adams. You know, let's put it that way.
That's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mike, do you want to go over the other book? I know you said there's a little confusion as far as the storyline goes.
I think I'll save that for. I was gonna do Marvel Resurrection #3.
Yeah.
I'll try and do a real quick one. So I literally missed the whole issue #1. I reviewed the one shot, and then I thought the second issue was going to be the Spider-Man cover where he's, escaping from the Galactus.
Okay.
So I mentioned how I thought Spider-Man was having a bad dream. Yep. That actually happened. He was actually having a bad dream. He was having a bad dream of what happened in issue 1, where Sue Storm actually did bite Franklin Richards.
You screwed up, Mike. You fucked up.
Something happened. I know. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Sue me. I read the wrong novel 1. Hey, you know what? The website I read it on, I read it for free. There. It's
up
there. And I think I read it Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. And it wasn't on there yet, so I read the wrong one.
Right. God damn you, Mike.
So all I'm going to say is that I am sorry. It won't happen again. I'll be more prepared next time. But
all right.
This book, they pretty quickly they track the Galactus Hive back to Atlantis. They get there, they get attacked by zombie Namor and Atlanteans. Peter finds this elevator shaft. They jump down there with the Sentinel that they've been going around with. We find out that this is what the big reveal for me was. One of the big reveals was that Franklin Richards ran off. Peter went to go get him. Like, hey, we still love you. You really were a bit, and we saved you. We find out that Franklin Richards is now powerless, and that he doesn't age. That explains why he has blonde hair again. Because, I thought it was just because in this universe he also has black hair like he does in the current Dan Slott run.
Okay.
So they get down there. We find out that Logan is still alive, and then in this universe, that Logan can still heal from being bit from the zombies.
Oh, they'll never kill him.
The reason why we find that out is that they're not actually zombies, but they're the blood. So the blood put eggs in Galactus, and that's why they're kind of like above. They're not the blood anymore. They have like the cosmic, the ultimate power in the universe, and then they're gonna go to other universes to bite them and get their energy and whatnot. So basically.
This book sounds so metal, and I can't wait for it to finish up so I can read the whole thing in one sitting because it sounds great.
And now that there's 2 issue ones, one with a one shot and one with an actual issue. But I've loved this book. I've always given positive reviews, and it's been great since whatever issue 1 I've read. Because I actually went back and bought the actual issue 1 from this miniseries, and it was great. I can't. This book is just great. If again, you guys know secret that I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan here, and that this book got me because it was Spider-Man was the main character in it, and somehow he promised that he was going to protect Franklin Richards and Val, because when all the heroes went off to the Galactus to see what all the problem was, he was looking over and babysitting the kids, and he promised that he'd protect them. And they're trying to cure them, not cure them of being so much zombies, but curing them of their hunger. And Logan's like, you can't cure them, they're the blood, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, 2 thumbs up for this book.
Well, it sounds like zaniness. Like I said, it sounds like a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we're running out of time right now, so we can't really get into it much more. But when the whole thing's all finished up, I'd love to do a whole runs-ish episode.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sounds great. For now, guys, remember to like and subscribe. Please check out some more videos right now, and stay tuned for us really getting into the digging into the stake that is Kindred tomorrow. And that's gonna do it for us this time, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday for more comic book reviews. And we love you all. We love you all. Bye. But
Bye.
go support comic book shops and buy. Don't be like Mike. Don't steal comics like Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Don't
You
read
got me on that
visuals.
website, you prick.
Oh, we gotta go. We're out of time. Bye, guys.
Give us likes.
Bye.